Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty keg of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scared money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-Prop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTB screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies then, huh, fellas? Welcome, everybody. New month, new week, all that good shit. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and it's Tuesday. No, not Taco Tuesday. Ribeye Tuesday, as we got ribeyes with Mike to hold you over on your hitting props, as well as the pitchers I'm going to cover. I may have written a few books for most of these write-ups today, so enough small talk and let's get to the money. This show is not sponsored by anybody. We do this out of our own generosity. Appreciate those that have found their way over to this channel, as it is every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. On this show, we will talk the opening lines of pitching props as well as the closing K prop lines 30 minutes prior to the show going live. So do me a favor, if you like what you hear, and smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. First guy on the board, Sanchito. Christopher Sanchez versus the Brewers, striking people out 21.5% while walking people just 7.5% on the year. Morning line 5.5. Over is at plus 125 on DraftKings. You can still get plus 120, but that's now at MGM. Pitching outs are at 16.5, minus 125 juice to the over. Earn runs 2.5, minus 130 juice to the under. Let's make sure that his outs haven't changed because I don't want to give you guys a bogus ass stale bet. So, Christopher Sanchez, outs pretty much still the same. Minus 130 right now on MGM. Not sure if it's still the same. I got it at minus 125, but we shall talk about it. Projected 7 righties, 2 lefties. Sanchez gets the Brewers, guys, who over the past 200 plate appearances versus a lefty, they're walking league average. They're not striking out just 20% of their at-bats with a bottom 8 isolated power. So let's go see who they've seen in that time span that I would bet on. As we all know by now, even when they were hitting lefties, I've been cashing at a great rate versus these Brewers. At least worth my lefties, be it K props, outs, or team total unders. With one loss, guys, and in hindsight, I knew better. But sometimes we got to remind ourselves that we know better and actually listen to ourselves. So yeah, guys, we know they just seen Garrett Crochet, who went 6 innings, 1 run, and had 8 strikeouts. Where I did cash the Brewers' first 5 team total under 1.5 at plus money, and he hit his K prop in the last inning of the game. Then he seen Justin Steele, guys. Justin Steele's went out there 7 innings of no-run ball. He had 8 strikeouts as we cashed his K-prop over in the 4th inning. Jesus Luzardo went his longest outing of his career when I believe I told freaking Jimmy the Bag that day that he was worried. I was like, hey, bro, he gonna have a day. And he did. He went 8 innings of no-run ball, but yet only struck out 4. And then they beat Shota into the ground, guys. And that's that one time I lost this year versus the Brewers. And like I said at the beginning of this write-up, hindsight is 2020. I knew better, as I am the first to preach the routines of pitchers and how they need them, let alone a Japanese pitcher in this first season. And when he warmed up for the Cardinals game, guys, he didn't play. And then they started him 4 days later. It should have just been a complete stay off, but my greed of the Brewers blinded me. And that's fine, as learning from your mistakes has been the story of my life. So we're back at it again, guys. How do we get to pick on the Brewers today? And it's simple. No need to overthink this, guys. If you watch my show, you know how I back a pitcher in Philly or Houston, as they have the two most soaked infields in baseball, which is a infielder's and pitcher's dream. Not just any pitcher, a ground ball pitcher. And that's what we have with Sanchez, guys. One of the highest ground ball percentage of any starting pitchers in the game. 61% ground ball percentage, where league average is 45.5. So yeah, can you guess where I'm going with this? Because I'm on his outs over 16.5 minus 125 at DK. And I will not be surprised, guys. At least I thought this was going to move to a 17.5. And there's been some juice at some books, but I don't know what, it's not showing me DK right here right now, but MGM has minus 130, and that's only a 5-cent move. So no harm, no foul. I believe that's the way to get in versus these Brewers, and that's the way I attacked versus these Brewers, guys. It's not just that. Let's look into it. His last 10 games, he's 6-4 to the over, 16.5 outs, which is right. 16.5 with juice, 60% of the time. Not a problem. But let's look a little deeper, guys. We've talked about the wet ground of Philly. We've talked about his ground ball percentage. He is 4-0 to the over 16.5, and he's gone 6 innings or more in every game at home, averaging 20 outs a game. I just thought this was the play. There was too many things screaming at me. Why get cute? Even if he does allow someone on, the double play is there with his ground balls. So, yeah, give me old Sanchito to go at least 6 innings and cash that outs prop versus for us today. Then we got Black Jesus, fellas. Good old Jesus Luzardo. He's striking people out this year, guys. I didn't even do his striking people out. So, yeah, who cares what that number is, because I didn't write it down. Morning line is at a 5.5 minus 125 DK, where the best line available is at a minus 135 on MGM. His pitching outs are at a 16.5 minus 150 juice to the over. Earn runs 2.5 minus 125 juice to the under. Projected lineup is 9 righties, 0 lefties. And, yeah, I'm going to read you his home road strikeout percentages with his lefty righty compared to last year, since I screwed up and didn't write down his overall. Guys, he's got at least a 3% better at home K percentage than on the road, whether it's this year or last year. And then this year, guys, he is struggling with putting lefties and righties down. It's 25.5% versus lefties compared to a 32% last year versus lefties. And then this year versus righties, it's 23.5% compared to a 27% last year. So let's get into old Jesus Luzardo. As he gets the Rays, guys, who over the last month only have 174 plate appearances versus the lefty, and they're excuse me, and they are walking and striking out league average with a top 10 isolated power. So let's go see who they've seen in the last month that at least I would bet on. And the only guy they've seen, guys, is Nestor Cortez, and he did get hit hard, going 5.1 innings, giving up 4 earned runs while only striking out 5. So what these numbers are saying, guys, is pretty much nothing, as they don't even have 200 plate appearances versus a lefty, let alone, guys, the only one that they've seen that I would bet on is Nestor Cortez, who sees this team 5 times a year. And you will rarely see me bet on a pitcher inside the division, because, man, weird shit happens when you see a team 5 times a year. So let's get into it, guys. Can we run this man's K prop? As he did see this team last season. He went 6 innings, no earned runs, and he struck out 8. When I look at the numbers of the lineup that he's seen last season, guys, they were walking 10% of the time, striking out 24% of the time, but they weren't hitting for the life of them. So really not much to take from that, guys, as Luzardo did what he should done versus those numbers. So can we get in? Well, we look at the past history, and we got 5 guys who have at least 4 at-bats, upwards to 9 guys, which is a small sample size, and they are only striking out at an 18% clip in 33 at-bats. Now, 33 guys is not enough to take away, but there are 2 guys with 8 and 9 that are in the top of the lineup that have only struck out one of their 8 or 9 at-bats, being in Diaz and Arozarena. So I wanted to go check, guys, since I told you guys at the beginning that his K percentage was down versus lefties and righties. So I wanted to see, like, is anything wrong with his pitches? So I go and look, guys, and that he is down 1 mile per hour on every pitch compared to last season. Yet when we look at his vertical and horizontal break on those pitches, his slider is fine. His vertical break is down 1% on his changeup and fastball compared to last year. Yet they do match up to his 2022 numbers. So it seems like Luzardo is going to fluctuate in that 1 percentile range of his vertical and horizontal break. So that's really not a big deal to me. So we have 9 right-handed bats projected in this, guys, where he's only striking righties out at a 23.5% clip, which is 4% off of where he was at last year. Yet I'm going to tell you guys, he's had some really tough matchups when it comes to his K prop. As Luzardo hasn't seen a team this year in the top 5 chase like the Rays are, and he has faced 3 teams that are bottom 7 in the league and making contact in the zone, where he had 7, 6, and 4 respectfully. Now, it seems like chase contact has been his key this year, guys, as he's seen 3 teams in the bottom 8, which is 3% or worse than league average or more. And Luzardo had 7, 8, and 8 in those games. So I will run the lineups when it comes out, check the chase contact in it, and if it says fire, I will. As he's had nothing more than 4 in a game, guys, where chase contact is in it. And if it says fire, I will, but it'll have to be 2/3 of the lineup that says fires, as when he faced teams that do make contact when they chase, 4-4 in the Yankees and the Padres. This projected lineup is 5-4 in favor of Luzardo. So I get it if you're on the over 5.5, but there are some guys on the bench that they can bring up that are really good at making contact. Now, there is some guys they can bring in the bench that are not good at making contact as well. So I'm not going to force a bet, but if they force my hand, I will play the over if they want to put in some guys that do not make contact when they chase for the guys that do. So is what it is. I'm going to let it be, but I do know some people that are looking at the under, but that's just a whole nother story. But I get it each way, guys, at the moment. So lineup pending, man. This is may just be a stay off on old Black Jesus. Appreciate, guys, you all for tuning in. Do me a favor if you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. It's that time for hitting props. Not just any hitting props. We got us a guy who made RBI betting cool. You guys know him as Pimp Slap Play of the Day. I know him as the last Megalodon. So without further ado,
Megalodon, the size of really 2 school buses. Are they extinct? Are they extinct?
That's the big question.
What's the new evidence now? A satellite photo near Sao Paulo. When you compare them next to the first photo, I'd say that's a 70-foot shark.
I'm glad it makes you laugh, my friend. I'm glad it makes you laugh.
It's the last one that gets me every single time.
Good. How you been, bro? How's life treating you?
Life is moving, man. We're in the grind of the summer, so it's time to enjoy the limited baseball action. Although this week we have evening baseball pretty healthily across the board. So ups and downs. We're grinding. We only got 1 series left in the NBA, 1 series left in the NHL. But I don't mean we can't get that cash, man. It's time to heat up them bats and see what we can do. I saw the London series bats, speaking of, for the Philadelphia Phillies. It looks pretty cool. Looks like they're going to have some fun out there. They get them special bats kind of made in there with the decals and the prints on them for when they go overseas there. And should be fun. Looks cool. Probably see a ton of runs again as well. But that means good stuff when it comes to hitting, Sharpie. Let's get into some hitting.
Let's talk some hitting.
Let's go. Tricky card today. Lots of spots that I liked. Then I looked at it and they stink. Lefty-righty matchups. I saw, the revenge matchups there. I wanted to get Hoskins against Suarez and the Phillies. And then I looked at it and I saw, he hit one yesterday. So the revenge theory and kind of going back against your team is out the window. And the price isn't great. He's not good at trying to force it. And that's not going to be the way we get paid. But I did find some spots that I thought stood the test here for us. And let's go with this first one. It kind of dawned on me. I was like, well, of course. I think this is a great upset spot. This Boston Red Sox team going to put them Braves on notice. I think it's a great opportunity to see just that, what happens out there. Now, we've seen that the Atlanta Braves have been playing to the under. They're a spot there that seems, as of this year particularly, everybody was hammering their team total overs last year. And when they started out the season this year, they got burnt because Atlanta's just not finding the consistency on the bat. Then you take out the Ozuna factor. There's just a lot of things saying fade away on this Atlanta team. I got some great numbers I'll talk about later tonight for this Boston Red Sox team. But of course, why not start out with our guy, Rafael Devers, whatever. And he's priced at the plus 165 spot here. 4-hole, 165 number. Great opportunity. We know that when it comes to batting, things tend to go in clusters. They get hot together, they get cold together. And when you start seeing the ball really well, then it just kind of rides along like a beach ball coming across the plate. And I think that's how Devers is looking at this thing right now. Look just at his recent performance. Even yesterday, homer, tripled in a walk on, Sunday. It was a loss to the Tigers, but getaway spot there. They had to go out and play this Atlanta team. 4 for 5 the day before that. Triple a week before that. I mean, the guy's just consistently getting it done. He started out the season hot. Then he kind of got in that little lull. But I think he's kind of bouncing back in this spot. I think it's a great Boston spot. If they're going to get the job done, Devers is going to open it up for us. Plus 165. Drive in a run, baby. Let's get this first one to cash. And then let's roll on.
Hey, before we get to the next one, I want to comment on that a little bit. I am not a hitting prop guy, but I do break down lineups like a motherfucker, okay? Okay. Now, there's 3 guys in this Red Sox lineup that's going to be tough to strike out with a wild card. Devers is one of them. Devers is a guy who makes elite chase contact, and that's been the bugaboo for Max Fried. We'll talk about Fried in a little bit, but he has an on-base percentage to lefties right now of damn near 500. His slugging goes up 400 versus lefties right now. Yep. And when you go look at the lefties he's faced, we'll talk about that. There's been a whole lot of dog lefties, guys, that he has faced. Devers is a fucking dog. I think he homers off of the guy today. Now, the other guy who makes elite chase contact is batting 2 spots behind Devers and Cooper. That may be another look late. Like, there, if he's on second, dude, Cooper is going to probably drive him in.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. When you look at Max Fried, he's fucking terrible against lefties. He holds down righties. And I know you'll get into it. And that's I'm not going to sway out of my lane here. But when I saw that 4 spot, and then you look at like even Connor Wong in front of him. There's a guy that makes contact against the lefty as well. And, lefty-lefty matchups, I like to see those things. They tend to me, it seems lefty-lefty matchups, pitching-wise, end up on the unders. But in a spot where it's batting versus the hitting out there, I think it's a great opportunity. And it's a great price for this guy.
So I think we see a lot of plus
165. I think we see a lot of action get rolling here. Boston's going to get it done today. I love the price on the money line as well at plus 145, plus 148, so even some 150s out there. That might be a little same game parlay. Just give me Devers, whatever. Give me the Red Sox and maybe the under tied into that thing. Seems like a nice little same game parlay, but I digress, Sharpie. 8:05 p.m. Let's talk about the Battle of Chi-Town. Chicago White Sox, the little sisters to the Chicago Cubs, the big brothers out there in a big showdown. Almost 12 miles an hour wind. Pushing out to the foul line there, going right to left across the field, but it should be a nice night. Question is, do we see Shota bounce back out there? We look on the other side, though, and you know who isn't bouncing back? Actually, he's bouncing like a beach ball. Speaking of throwing beach balls out there, this fucking guy, just a bad spot for this guy today. And I don't think it's good. There's nothing that tells me it's likely to change. It's a good spot for the Cubbies here. And I looked at this lineup, and I thought, you know what? Ian Happ, what a great guy to take advantage of here in this spot. 5 at-bats, only 1 hit and 1 ribby against Chris Flexen. But, man, I like the switch hitting contact guys there when they can kind of take the advantage and decide, am I going to go lefty? Am I going to go righty against this guy? We look at the situation against that Reds. He started making some really good contact just a couple days ago in that Red series. Then he had some great contact in the Brewers series. Great contact in that St. Louis series as well. The guy's just kind of knotting that ball in there and getting around the bases. So I think it's just a matter of time. And why not pick on this Chris Flexen guy to get some ducks on the pond out there? The thing about Happ is very capable of just going yardstick anyways, regardless if guys are on the base or not. So I like this spot. I think, 2 for 4, a home run, 2 ribbies that last game against the Brewers. And here's a guy, St. Louis. They played St. Louis back on that Sunday night spot. Was that 2 weeks ago? The Cubs couldn't perform. They were struggling to get the W out there. St. Louis kind of been on a tear, but man, he had 2 home runs in that game, drove in another 3 runs on top of it. Again, the ball's bigger across the plate for some guys than others, and I think Ian Happ sees this thing like the beach ball as well. Plus 150 spot there. Plus 150 for this guy? Are you kidding me? 5 spot, 5 hole, but still more capable with the power and the consistency that he's been producing to get the job done against sexy Chris Flexi.
Good old beach ball flexing. I'm putting all of his bets in the chat, fellas. The RBIs coming from the odds bunch in the chat are Mike's bets. So keep talking, my boy.
Let's roll. You know, I wanted to get advantage here. I think this is a great Yankee spot. The Yankees laying the run line. Uber's been an over in a lot of cases that I've kind of eyed this guy in some of these spots like tonight. Now, I don't know what this New York is kind of a weird situation because these guys come into Yankee Stadium and they want to perform in an outstanding fashion. Do we see that from Bailey Uber? I don't know. Maybe that's the case. I looked at this lineup and I thought Aaron Judge, I was playing a round of golf on Sunday with a friend of mine and we were talking about Aaron Judge and plus 105s, minus 105s for this guy to hit a homer. You fucking crazy. Why would you lay that? You have to get this guy to get 3+ homers to make any fucking money on that thing. It does not make any. I get it. He's hitting, he's smashing everything, but you got to be smart about this thing. You want to chase a minus 105 that bad that you're going to pick a dude to hit a home run. And then what did he do that day? No home runs, fucking dummies. Then you look at this thing and you see Juan Soto, though. Shout out Juan Soto, and you got Aaron Judge, the first two guys before June 1st in Major League history to have, 30+ walks and 14+ home runs. Tag team duo in the setting records out there. And I like Juan Soto in this spot here. Number 2 spot out there. 3 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 ribby for 667 against Ober. I think this is a spot where the Yankees get this win. And I look up and down the lineup. I'm more scared of the bottom of the lineup if I was Uber than I would be the top of the lineup, which means that the guy hitting the 2-hole gets the advantage of Gleyber Torres, Austin Wells, and DJ LeMahieu potentially being on base to get that opportunity to drive them boys in. And you might as well just go yard as well. Lefty-righty situation, tricky situation when you look at that. But when it comes to the righty situation, the writing perspective and batting, the most consistent is Juan Soto, a 3.18, the best numbers on the lineup against a righty. I think he's going to go out there and get it. Probably goes yardstick again. It's what do they call it? Dinger Tuesday. Probably an opportunity for Juan Soto to get it done there. But I think it's a great price for this guy as well. Not going to go lay the plus 105. I just think that is stupid. But Juan Soto's plus 145. I'll take that. That's our sweet spot, and that's how we get paid, Sharpie.
Juan Soto.
That's the one. Welcome to the squad.
Man, guys. I love guys on their contract year period, bro. And he's one of the guys that are shining.
I mean, he's earning it. I'd still cut his ass afterwards, but he's earning it, One of the odds is once they get that big payday, right, how much harder they want to keep working. But he seems like a guy that wants to go chase that crown and see that if he can wear that ring. So I like it. I think he's a great spot there. Right fielder. Should be a lot of fun to watch him go out that second spot. They're going to be in the first inning. Kind of like the Yerfie. I kind of like the yes run, and it's probably Juan Soto or Aaron Judge that knocks that fucker in there. So that aside, though, last play for me, I had to look at this one here. Makes a ton of sense. You saw this game yesterday. We had fucking 200. I think they're still playing in that Colorado-Cincinnati game there. What was the score? 200-10, something like that. I mean, it was a monster game. Andrew Abbott surprised me. I was expecting first stint at Coors. Tough situation. We're seeing the total climbing. He's going to get touched up. No, it was the other side of things, and Feltner's a piece of shit. But anyhow, I digress. I'm looking here at this Rockies game, and I'm looking at these two setups here. I'm not a Montas guy. He's terrible. He tosses that. He might as well be throwing it underhanded like a chick softball team, and it's just not going to fly. But you know who does fly is fucking Ryan McMahon. Plus 140, 4 at-bats, 4 hits, 1 ribby, a perfect 1,000 out there, 100% against Frankie Montas. And who else of this shit team in Colorado is going to go out there and get the job done? No, they're a bunch of dummies. They're capable of just getting hit by a pitch and ending up on the base and then let Ryan McMahon do the rest of the work here. But McMahon, filthy, plus 140. We see this thing expecting it to be another run situation, take advantage of Montas. And when you look at these guys, Montas sucks against lefties. A 1.8 home run per 9 mark out there. The guy's almost coughing up 2 home runs a game. He's 0.8 against righties. So he's definitely got that propensity to get touched up, and McMahon touches him like it's a sleepover at Michael Jackson's house. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch McMahon get the job done here today. Let's get that cash.
No diddy. Appreciate you, bro, as always, my guy. You've dropped us a nice little 4-pack. He's on Devers RBI of the Red Sox plus 165. Hap of the Cubs RBI at plus 150. Juan Soto of the Yankees RBI at plus 145. And then he's going to head on over to Colorado. McMahon RBI at plus 150. As always, bro, I appreciate you for coming on and giving these people some hitting props to talk about. let them know where they can find you and what you got going on.
Hell yeah, man. It's going to be a lot of fun today to see what gets done here. Only baseball, so why not get into the ribbies and have a lot of fun trying to get that red meat. Find me over on YouTube, of course. You know, we got this new channel popping off, guys. We are a couple months deep on the Saturday live streams. Sharpie's been a part of a number of them, and we have been cashing, kicking ass, taking names, rolling up, getting them done out there. You can see it over at Sports Money, channel name on YouTube, Sports Money. Follow me at PimpSlapPod anytime I go live. You guys will be in the know. We're rocking that show 6 p.m. Not Monday to Friday. As long as there's evening baseball, though, I'll get up there. I'll go live. I'll share with you guys some stats, trends, angles, analysis, and everything else to get them paydays. Let's go, guys. Appreciate you, Sharpie. I'll see you soon, my bye.
As always, brother.
Hey.
Megalodon, the size of really 2 school buses. Are they extinct? Are they extinct?
That's the big question.
What's the new evidence now? A satellite photo near Sao Paulo. When you compare them next to the first photo, I'd say that's a 70-foot shark.
Man, Sharpie shouldn't freaking sit back and get baked during when the guys come on and talk, because shit happens. Max Fried, guys, gets the Red Sox, striking people out 20.5% on the year. Well, that ain't, like I said, I fucking didn't even write those in, but that might actually be his. I actually did all their splits. I know that. Morning line was 6.5 minus 125 on FanDuel. It was 7.5 everywhere else. Now, since lineups came out, we've got a 6.5 plus 126 pretty much everywhere, and his pitching outs minus 225 juice to the over. Earn runs 1.5 minus 170 juice to the over, and his projected lineup, it did switch one lefty, but it still came out 6 righties, 3 lefties. Now this year, guys, he is striking lefties out at a whopping 17%, righties 21.5%, compared to last season 29% versus the left-handed side and a 25% versus the right-handed side. Fried, guys, gets the Red Sox, and I mean, I wrote a book here, guys, so this is before the lineups came out, and let's get it. Fried gets the Red Sox, who over the last 200 plate appearances versus a lefty are walking below league average, striking out 25% of their at-bats with a bottom 7 isolated power. So let's go see who they've seen in that time span that I would bet on, as they seen the Tigers but missed Skubal, had series versus the Brewers, Rays, Cardinals, and O's, all who don't have a lefty I would bet on, and we cashed Mackenzie Gore as he went 6 innings with 9 punch-outs. And that's who they've seen. So these numbers, guys, are actually worse than what they are, is what that's saying. And we know this, guys, as we've been cashing versus these cucks with any lefty we have ran, and we get a funky-ass number on Fried, as FanDuel has a 6.5. Everywhere else had a 7.5. And I already knew what FanDuel was doing. It's not a trap, as, yes, small sample size. He's only has 10 innings versus the left-handed side this year, but he only had 11 innings versus the left-handed side this last year. So it's pretty much he's already had the same amount of innings versus lefties this year than he's seen last year. And his batting average against versus lefties this season is .423, disgusting. Where his on-base percentage is near 500. That's damn near every other lefty has got on base. And his slugging percentage goes up 400 points versus a lefty, guys. And he's only striking them out 17% of the time this year compared to 29 last season. Can I really take an under with the Red Sox versus a lefty? Hell no, no to the no. As I did want to see lineups, guys, and I may just have to let them go today. As something I've noticed over the last month of tracking how the books line their numbers, guys, is it's already moved back. But so I don't got to worry about it now. But I should still tell you, when FanDuel is offering 1K prop lower than everywhere else, and even after lineups come out, the other books don't come down. That K prop is either cashing by the hook or not hitting, guys, and it's at a stupid percentage. It's near 80% of the games that this thing either hits by the hook or doesn't happen, with last night being Wheeler, guys, where FanDuel was offering a 1K prop lower at bettable juice than everybody else. Even after lineups came out, nobody came off of it. and that's what happened. Now, once lineups came out, all the other books has followed suit except for MGM. So that is a warning sign right there for how the books have been at least showing their cards throughout this season. Now, I did some more thinking, guys, and I may be overthinking this, but man, in 10 innings of facing lefties this year, he has been bad. And I put that in quotation marks. Let's go see the lefties he's faced. As 2.2 innings were versus Luis Arias, 0.2 innings versus Jake Cronenworth. Both are elite at chase contact. He struck out Tucker and he's seen your daddy. He got them 1 of 6 at bats. So there's 2 innings. 2 guys who are elite at making contact. 2 stud lefties. Okay, so we're already at 5.1 innings versus elite lefties, as well as he's seen the Philly lefties who have owned him throughout the past. And he only went 7 batters, but he's seen 3 lefties and 3 lefties that had his number. So there's another inning. So we're at 6.1 innings versus his 10.1 innings of bad numbers versus lefties. Then he went 7 innings versus the Mets, where he's seen 3 lefties, 25 at bats or more. He's seen them 9 times. There's another 3 innings. He has a career 25% K rate versus them. So what I'm going to tell you guys is he hasn't struck out Luis Arias, Cronenworth, Jeff McNeil, Nimmo, your daddy, Tucker. These are all guys that strike out like bottom 10% versus lefties, guys. Like, he has seen some elite lefties. And that's where I do like the Devers RBI, is Devers is an elite lefty. Now, this lineup can flip upside down in a minute, guys, as I've ran the whiff percentage and projected, as well as the chase contact. And the projected lineup said fire. Yet, there are guys who can flip the chase contact in favor of the under, which may keep me off. So far, guys, we got 2 guys in the projected lineup who make contact when they chase. One of them seen 20 times and have only struck out 3 times, and that is Cooper. And he actually whiffs it every fucking pitch Fried uses. He just makes contact when he chases. So maybe Fried wants to keep the ball in the zone, and he might actually get Cooper today. Now, the other person, guys, being Devers, that was in the projected lineup. And he, like Cooper, does whiff at his pitch mix. They're just beast at making contact, guys. Now, they did end up bringing in Smith, and that's why the number has started going down up to plus money. Smith in 7 at-bats has only struck out 1 time and is a lefty. It shows that he is not striking out lefties this season. Well, I'm going to tell you, he still probably will not get Devers, and he still probably won't get Smith. But those are the 3 guys, as Devers, Smith, and Cooper are the only 3 guys in this lineup that are elite at making contact when they chase. Everybody else whiffs at his pitch mix and can't make contact when they chase. That is 5 of the 6, that is, as we have a wild card. We have a kid who is making his first ever big league start, sitting in between Devers and Cooper. And that's where it's like, can I run the over with not knowing what this kid is? His minor league stats says he strikes out less than 18% of his at-bats over his last few seasons. But the kid's also been in the minors for 10 years. Not many guys play minor league baseball for 10 years and get the call-up, guys. Like, this is a miracle child. So he's had to work his ass off, guys. So is he a good chase contact guy? Yes or no? Because if he is, and the way the lineup is constructed, having him in between 2 guys that won't strike out, he could be the end-all, be-all to does this K-prop hit. Now, he's got 5 guys he could strike out, 4 guys he could strike out twice. It's just, what is Westbrook going to do? I hate to count on 2 strikeouts from people, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I need to do a little more digging on this Westbrook kid. Maybe see if I can find anything on him, guys, because it's over or nothing. And I get what the books were doing. I just thought I was going to be swift and come right in the eye hole, but I get it right now. Now, I get it if you're on the over. It's either over or nothing for me, guys, as there are only 3 guys who make contact when they chase, with 1 being a wild card, as well as almost everybody whiffs to all of his pitch mix. So it's in the cards for this guy to have a good day, but it's also in the cards for Devers to get on, Cooper to get on, and Smith to get on. So take it as you will. I wrote a book on him, and I didn't pull the trigger, but I haven't said no to it yet either. It is something I'm going to go back and look at once I'm done, as this lineup came out right before the show. Let's talk about another guy who I do expect a bounce back game from, and that's Shota Amagna versus the White Sox. Striking people out this year 25.5% of the time, while walking people just 4.5%. Morning line was 6.5 plus 110 on DraftKings, where the best line available now is it still 6.5? I think it is. Let me make sure. For some reason I wrote 5, but I don't believe that's right. It is 6.5 minus 115 on DraftKings. That's the right line. All right, guys. Pitching outs is 17.5 minus 200 juice to the over. Earn runs minus 1.5 minus 160 juice to the over, and his 2.5 minus 135 juice to the under in the morning. It went to 150 when I went to go bet it, so I didn't put it in, but was at minus 150 on DK to the 2.5 last I looked. Projected lineup is 8 righties, 1 lefty, and no, I think they're actually running all righties. Projected lineup is 9 righties, no lefties. Shota, guys, gets the White Sox, who over the past 200 plate appearances versus lefties are walking league average, striking out league best, not striking out league best at just 18% of their at-bats, with a middle-of-the-pack isolated power. So let's go see who they've seen that I would bet on. As they had series with the Brewers, Blue Jays twice, Orioles, all who have lefties I wouldn't bet an over on. Carlos Rodon went 6 innings, 2 earned runs with 6 strikeouts. Nexter Cortez, 7 innings, allowed 0 earned runs and 6 strikeouts. As I was on both guys, I hit the Cortez over on the last batter, as Rodon hooked me on some plus money. So it's over or nothing, guys. Yet, do I want to pull him down and alt it with the team total, or do I want to ride the 6.5? Well, we could project him to be out there, guys, at least 6 innings of work, as all of our guys we would bet on has gone at least 6 innings. We could project him to give up 2 earned runs or less, as he's only seen 2 good lefties, and he hasn't gotten more than 2 off of them. So, am I worried about his last game? No. Hindsight is 2020, guys, as I shouldn't have ever bet him versus the Brewers, as I talk about pitchers needing to be in a routine, especially these Japanese pitchers. And when we warmed up for the Cardinals game, guys, they didn't play. They just pushed him back 4 days, and I should have ran from the hills. Whether he cashed, whether he did not, I should have not have been involved in that game. I need to listen to what I have picked up on years. Well, guys, we are on regular rest today, and it's me waiting on lineups, as he's pretty much, guys, a 2-pitch pitcher depending on what side of the plate you bat from, as he is fastball splitter to righties, fastball sweeper to lefties, and we're projected pretty much all right-handed bats. So I will run the whiff percentages versus those pitch, as well as the chase from some of these guys in this team. And it's over or nothing, guys, and I may just pull it down to the 6+ with the altered team total, as I will tweet it out what I decide to do once the lineups come out. Do me a favor, guys. If you like what you're hearing, smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, guys, please hit the subscribe button as well. But we're at that time where we hit a little music when we got to lean or we're looking to bet this way. Good old Undertaker, fellas. Kyle Harrison at the Diamondback, striking people out 21.5%, while walking people 8%. Morning line was 5.5 minus 104 on FanDuel to the over. Best line is at even money on DraftKings. Earned runs is at 2.5 minus 150 juice to the over, where the projected lineup is 8 righties and 1 lefty. Harrison gets the D-backs, guys, who over the past 200 plate appearances versus a lefty are not walking, striking out 24% of the time with a bottom 5 isolated power. Now, this is disgusting, guys, for what I was thinking beforehand, as I was like, this should be a good, easy under today. No, these cucks are striking out 24% of the time. Very uncharacteristic for the D-backs, guys. So let's go see who have they seen in this time span. As the Mets, Dodgers, Rangers don't have a lefty, I'd look to bet over with. As I seen the Marlins, and Ryan Weathers had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings of work, where he isn't a guy I'd really looked at, but His last 3 games have been legit since I did just pull him up, guys, and nothing less than 7. So maybe no harm, no foul, as it looks like I need to go take a look at Weathers. Braxton Garrett, guys, threw a Maddox. He went a complete game under 100 pitches with 9 punch-outs. So who is striking these guys out? Oh, Sean Manaea. He actually had his strikeouts jumped up versus the Diamondbacks, where everybody and their mom went under. Well, no, not Sharpie. I would just, the people who bet that. Well, he had his most strikeouts in a game to date, as he had 10 strikeouts in 5.2 innings of work. Jose Quintana went 4 innings with 4 punch-outs. So what are the books saying in his K-prop line? Well, it seems to me, guys, they want over money, as the D-backs are striking out 24% of the time, and Harrison's hit his over 4.5 in 7 of his last 10 and 6 of his last 8. And the juice is on the under? And, guys, he's seen the D-backs back on 420. He had 5 strikeouts and 4 innings of work, as they did hit him hard. But, yeah, you're going to go look that up. Put right in Kyle Harrison right now, and this guy had 5 strikeouts with the Diamondbacks April 20th. He's hit this in 6 to 10 games. Diamondbacks are striking out. I'm going to tell you guys, if they put Corbin Carroll at the end of the lineup, or please, dear Heavenly Father, please put him out the freaking game. As in those 5 strikeouts last game, guys, 3 of them were to Corbin Carroll. Harrison has struck out lefties at a 31% clip this year, compared to just 18% from the right-handed side. So give me Carroll out the game. They actually dropped him at the bottom of the lineup yesterday because he's not performing, so we can at least expect him to be at the bottom. But with these Diamondbacks not hitting, I don't know if he still doesn't get seen 3 times, guys. So I'd like to see him out the game. I'd like to see a predominantly righty-dominant lineup, as Grichuk, Suarez, and Walker, guys, they could all have one of those Corbin Carroll type days versus a lefty, but they also have the type of power to run a lefty from a game. So I need the lineups. There's only one way I can go with this, and that's with the books on this one, as God, Corbin Carroll is soaked this year. I'm so glad I am not a freaking Diamondbacks fan. So we're going to get into the next guy, guys. I'm not going to do a crazy breakdown for him, but if you bet this morning, you may have a pair of titties on your face at the way you cap. All right, guys, Tyler fucking Glasnow at the Pirates. They did it last week, guys, and they did it again. They decided to put some man titties on my boy Tyler Glasnow, guys, as they opened him up at 7.5 at plus money to a Pirates team not hitting and striking out 24% of the time. Last week, guys, he cashed it by the hook to the over. I'm not going to always tell you the titty capper plays do not cash, but I'll be the first one to tell you guys the books win more often than not when they put a big old booby trap out. But when, guys, they win it at a good enough clip, that's why we call it titty cappers, guys. So what are we going to do here, guys? This situation for me here is simple. This man has hit the over 7.5, 7 of his last 3, guys. He's hit it 6 of his last 8, and he's hit it on every road game this year. You go on the Twitter, guys, you will find 100 motherfuckers giving out Tyler Glasnow 7.5 strikeouts. Now, the juices came in because the lineup came out, and it might be the right move. But I'm going to tell you what. If you betting shit like that early in the morning when they setting out fucking traps, you need to reevaluate the way you cap. That's just the way I think personally. And I am not stepping near this fucking game. If you go look at Tyler Glasnow, since the Cincinnati Reds game, his velo and his spin rate are down drastically. And I mean fucking cheating drastically on his curveball. 200 RPMs down from the Cincinnati game where he almost got thrown out the game for cheating. Man, dude, if there was a team who knew how he cheats, you think it'd be the team he fucking cheated with for 5 years? I think so. So, at the end of the day, guys, I will never be on a prop that a book is screaming for you to bet. That's just not the way I get down. I look to bet guys' averages. I don't look to bet a 7.5 at plus money when he's averaged damn near 8.7 strikeouts a game on the year. No, thank you. That's just not me. Other side of that story is Jaron Jones, guys, versus the Dodgers. Now, this to me is another stay off. If anything, an under or nothing. As I've come to notice, Jones needs chase in this lineup for him to have a big day in the strikeout department. And when we look at who the Dodgers are projecting, we have 5 guys in this lineup who chase. Now, if you watch this show, I'll tell you I want 2/3 of the lineup to get in, and it can't get any better, as the only guys who chase are already projected in the lineup. Now, what makes me lean to the under, guys, is the 5 guys that do chase in the Dodgers lineup, 4 of them are elite at making contact when they chase. And with Jones being a 2-pitch pitcher, I expect those guys that are elite just to sit on 1 pitch, and that's why I lean the under. Now, I will not go under personally because there is 2/3 of the lineup that favor in what I look for this man. So I get it if you're on the over, but I also get it if you're on the under, guys. So this to me was just an easy stay off. The line was perfectly right. Now, if the Dodgers want to run out a lineup with a bunch of guys who don't chase in it, then they shall change my mind, and I will bet Jared Jones under. So appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Smash the like button if you like what you're hearing. 2 things you need in life, guys: Jesus and God. Remember that.
Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time. Give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray. Thank the good Lord at the end of the day. Wake him up early, teach him how to work, spend his own money, show him what it's worth, yeah. He's gonna know it all, he'll slip and he'll fall, he'll pick himself up, amen. Yes sir, yes ma'am, show him how to be a man, so one of these days he can. Buy a girl flowers, take her to a show, treat her like a lady, and maybe down the road you'll give a girl a diamond, put it on her hand, watch her and her mama making all the plans. Then get a little house on a little piece of land, build a little family, so maybe one of these days he can. Yeah. Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time. Give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray. Thank the good Lord at the end of the day. Yeah.